my name is Kenna and my partner is Veronica, and this is our lesson plan reflective video review. So, what we did is we shared a slideshow and then we worked on answering each of the questions for the assignment together. And now we are going to each record our own video to then upload for the assignment. So, this is my video, and we did our lesson plan on the US states and their capitals. So, first, I'm going to go over some overall lesson successes. So, some things that worked well included creating a collaborative learning environment, which was very engaging for the students. They also enjoyed getting to use their whiteboards for the introduction activity, and this really helped to engage them in the lesson. They loved getting to work together to solve the different puzzles for the escape room, and they discussed how they liked the freedom to be able to choose how they solved each problem and passed each level. So the engagement level increased due to the extrinsic reward system. And being able to pick a prize helped motivate the students to work together effectively and efficiently so that they could then finish and then choose the prize that they most wanted. So the students felt better prepared to take the unit test on the states and capitals after participating in the matching Quizlet review game. They greatly enjoyed participating in the brain break activity, and this also allowed them to better focus when taking the unit test, which they did right after the brain break. And then lastly, by having students take the test on Quizlet, I was able to modify the test to meet the individual needs of the students. So now we're going to look at lesson successes for the escape room game. So using an escape room game as a review for the upcoming assessment on the 50 states and capitals was motivating for students because giving them clear instructions and having them solve puzzles and codes helped build their confidence in their problem-solving abilities. And this met the criteria for expectancy theory. Connecting the completion of the game to extrinsic rewards, such as prizes and peer recognition, helps students understand that successfully problem solving and collaborating with their peers will lead to positive outcomes. This is also expectancy theory. And then allowing students to choose how they wanted to solve each puzzle helped foster independence and fulfilled autonomy, which meets the criteria for self-determination theory. So continuing on, designing the game so that each level became increasingly difficult and also providing students with hints when they were struggling helped them achieve competence. So this meets the criteria for self-determination theory. Having students work in groups was a great way to promote teamwork and increase social connections. And then this also helped foster a sense of belonging and help build student connections as well. And so though that meets the criteria for self-determination theory and also Maslow's hierarchy of needs. Creating a physically safe and comfortable environments for students to work contributed to the success of the lesson. So this is Maslow's hierarchy of needs. And then lastly, this game was intrinsically motivating because students had to think creatively and critically while solving the different puzzles. So completing each level successfully increased students' self-esteem and gave them a sense of accomplishment. And this type of game allowed students to take control of their learning, which then increased motivation and engagement during the lesson. And so the picture I had to the right shows the escape room. So at the top, it's the mission objective. And then down below are the different levels that the students had to complete within their group before being able to escape and finish the entire game. So moving on now to the other game we used, which was Quizlet. So the students enjoyed being able to set their own learning goals for Quizlet, and being able to modify the test was also very helpful because it allowed me to best meet each student's individual needs. So this meets the criteria for goal setting theory. By explaining to students the importance of using study strategies such as Quizlet flashcards, it helps deepen students' understanding of how effort can lead to higher performance, which is expectancy theory. And then, while participating in the matching partner game, students were more engaged and motivated in their learning. Also, having students collaborate with the partner helped them feel a sense of belonging in the class. This is self-determination theory. And then after students finished with the matching game, we had a whole class discussion, and many students talked about how they enjoyed playing the game and felt more motivated to keep trying until they had matched all of the cards. So the students also discussed how they felt better prepared for the unit test on the states and capitals by getting able to participate in this game. Test scores greatly improved from previous social studies tests. So out of the 25 students, only 3 scored below 70% and had to review and then retake the test. So now we're going to move on to some challenges that we encountered. So one challenge included the directions for the escape room game. So I could have done a better job going over each of the steps for how students would complete each level. And most of the students were able to effectively work in their groups. But I did notice some students taking charge and making most of the decisions, while other students remained quiet throughout the game. So I believe if I assigned certain jobs or roles, that would help benefit students because then they would know that they had a specific job that they needed to do. Um, and so that's something I would like to incorporate for the next escape room that they work on. And I could have also better modeled how students would solve the first level before putting them in their groups. So I think if I would have taken more time to explain the expectations of the game, the students would have had a better understanding of the overall structure and they would have been able to maybe handle certain challenges better because I would have modeled it um, more effectively. So continuing on, for the most part, students were able to collaborate and work together, but some teams did try to rush through each level in order to finish first so that they can then choose the prize they wanted the most. So next time, I think I would like to alter the game and make it more intrinsically motivating instead of extrinsically motivating for the students. And I believe this would help them get the best learning experience. Lastly, I want to keep working on pairing students up in the most effective way. So while I was walking around and observing the students working with their partner for the matching game, I noticed that the majority of the students were communicating and they remained engaged throughout the entire game. However, there were a few pairs of partners that were talking quite a bit instead of working. And so this caused the voice level to increase, and I had to remind the students to whisper while playing the game and to stay on task and remain focused. So I think I would like to just keep on improving my abilities with pairing and matching students in the most effective way so that they get the most out of their learning when we do different activities together. So now we're going to move on to improvements and adjustments. So some improvements for the lesson plan include having, like I said earlier, better models, like better modeling and examples for the escape room. So this could be done by having theme or subject inclusive escape rooms that are inclusive for all the students, including those who have identified special needs. I would also suggest that we give more direct instructions in both written and oral form for all the students so that the directions are more clear and the main goal and purpose is understood amongst the students. For students who are struggling with understanding the content, I'll use small group instruction, visual aids, and interactive tools to give focused support. And lastly, I will also implement one-on-one meetings with students who need that extra support. So where they are able to then set their own personal learning goals, and then I can check back in with those students to see how they are progressing. So lastly is our reflection on learning. So this was a very eye op it was very eye-opening on the process it takes to create a lesson plan and making sure it is inclusive amongst all students. It gave us a better understanding and outlook on teaching in a more positive way. Um, it motivated us to be more creative when designing lesson plans and taught us also how to think outside the box because we had to incorporate the motivational theories and the different games within our lesson plans. So we had to be more creative when kind of designing out the steps for our lesson plan so that we included all of that for the students. This lesson plan inspired us to make sure all the material was inclusive for the students as well. And we began to critically think about what can be different with lesson plans in the future now that we understand the benefits of gamification as well as the motivational theories that we learned this semester in class. So we learned how effective gamification can be when used as a tool for learning and motivating students to remain engaged in lessons and activities. We would like to incorporate the multiple motivational theories we learned this semester in our own classrooms when designing lessons because we think it will make learning more impactful and meaningful for students. And then technology, as we know, is a very important tool that is used in classrooms in today's world. And using educational games such as Quizlet, Kahoot, escape rooms, Classcraft, Prodigy, and many more are great ways to motivate students to remain invested and engaged in their learning. And so that is the end of my video presentation. So thank you.